Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin Cash. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. Now, there are two donation links down below in the description. If you want to support Ukraine, feel free to do so by donating via the official websites I linked down below. Of course, you don't have to do this. I mean, if you are willing to help, of course, all kinds of help is appreciated. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting my country and supporting my channel as well. Let's get on with the TA. So jumping into the daily chart, this is Binance's chart on TradingView. So as you can see, I have a Fibonacci retracement set up with the swing high for Bitcoin Cash at $1,669. Now, I think the all-time high price is a bit higher, but we're going off the Binance chart here. So as you can see, we had a ascending support trend line that we lost here in December of 2021, and ever since then we have been in a nasty downtrend. So the important thing to see here is you want to know where you want to buy the token, because you could be dollar cost averaging every single day, or you could set up some buy limit orders in case we see capitulations. And trust me, we are going to see more capitulations. You know, it's not like we're going to only, like this is the last time that we're going to see Bitcoin dump like this in June. No, we're going to see more of these capitulations. We're not going to enter the bull market, in my opinion, at least until spring of 2023, at least, you know, because the Bitcoin halving is coming in 2024. It might come a little early in the year, so maybe we'd get it in March of 2024. But still, that's a long way from here. And I think that's good because we get time to develop, to learn how to manage our finances, our assets, and we obviously get the chance to buy all of our favorite cryptos at very cheap prices. I think that's very important. So this is the time that people are going to be looking back at and thinking, well, I should have bought in, into Bitcoin Cash at these prices, in August of 2022. Why didn't I do that? And you're going to be like, well, dude, I bought in. I've been dollar cost averaging for the past 2 years. And now look at my portfolio. It has 100x since then. So this is why you want to be buying at these prices here, because just zoom out and take a look at the price action here. Obviously, logically, you don't want to be buying here. You want to be buying here, because once it gets there, you're going to have some profit. And moving into the next bull market, you could even go higher. That is obviously the logical thing, but it's not easy for people to understand that. That's why I'm here to provide you with support levels based on technical analysis, but that doesn't mean that the levels will be met. However, more often than not, the levels are valid and they do give you a good perception and a good understanding of where you want to be buying in and where you want to be setting up your buy and sell limit orders. For example, right now, I gave you this resistance trend line last update that we had on Bitcoin Cash, and I think that was quite a while ago, I think. But we had this $133 or 130, what is this, $133 resistance, right? And look at this, we ran into it perfectly here in September, and since then we have seen a very nice pullback of around about 5%, and we could even see a pullback all the way down to the 20 MA, which would be a 6% move, 6.3. We could see a move all the way down to the blue trend line here, which is an 8% move. We'll talk about the blue trend line in a second. So you can see that these levels do play a major role in the trading, because the chart is basically the representation of the emotion, the human emotion that the trader is experiencing. It's either fear or greed, and basically a lot of people are going to have the same trend lines as you, and that's why they work, precisely because a lot of people look at them and they start selling once we get closer to them. That's where the sell pressure comes in. So why did I give you this trend line in the first place? Well, if I take this arrow and show you, you can see that in August, at the beginning of August at least, we have seen bounces from this level here. Obviously, we broke down below in the middle of August. We had a move into this buy zone. Then we went to retest this previous support as resistance at $133. We had another move into this buy zone here. From there, we saw a move, created a nice double bottom pattern, and we broke to the upside, running into the same $133 resistance once again. So you can see how with this one trend line, you could have had a couple of nice trades, and that's basically how I operate, and that's how I swing trade. Obviously, I use some oscillators, and I take a look at the daily and weekly and 4-hourly RSI, stochastic RSI, to determine whether an asset is overbought or oversold, which I think everyone should do if you're swing trading. So the blue trend lines here represent a symmetrical triangle that we were in. We got closer to the apex, and now we're breaking to the upside, potentially having a backtest of support of the upper blue trend line. From there, we could have a nice run up and break $133. Potentially, our next target is going to be $158. That's our high that we printed here. And this is not only a simple high. This is a resistance level you ran into based on this Fibonacci retracement that I've had on the charts for a very, very, very long time. Let me just get the Fib retracement a bit smaller because it's a bit too wide, and I want to have it a bit closer to the price action so that I can see the end of the levels. So as you can see, the 1.618 here at $158, that's exactly where you ran into at the end of July. From there, you had a very nice pullback of 30%. You could have bought back in, and now you're looking for another 30% move, or 40% move to the 1.618. You can take some more profits. You can see how these levels can work. However, you're going to trade this, once, 2 times, 3 times. On the 4th time, you're going to see a very strong breakout. Then you're going to sell here, okay? And you're going to be left with your cash here, while Bitcoin Cash does something like this, and you get to $600 within a matter of weeks, and you're like, what? How did that happen? I was swing trading and everything was going great. So that's why you have to be very careful with swing trading, especially when we are near the bottom of the bear market. So I would suggest just trading with a 5% difference. For example, you sold here at 133, wait for a 5% pullback, or wait for the 20 MA retest, buy back in, okay? So a buy zone here from $117 all the way down to $110, great zone to dollar cost average. Also $90 or $91.50, great zone to dollar cost average as well. If we drop back down below the blue trend lines, basically the target from the symmetrical triangle will be invalidated, and the current target here is actually, that's where it was created. So let's just have this, and this is going to be a conservative target, but it's going to be above the 1.618. So that's a $200% target, or $200 target. That's a 54% move, 54.8. So we could potentially get there, getting closer to November, right? Because last November we had a nice move to the upside, but that was during a bull market. So keep that in mind. You have $213 here as resistance at the 1.414. But before getting there, we obviously should break through the 1.618. And long term, like I said, you have multiple targets based on the fibs and based on the resistance levels and the support levels here and the swing highs and the swing lows. It's really easy to set a lot of targets. The only problem is we need to get there. So jumping into the daily RSI, I do want to show you something that we took a look in the last video. So you can see this white trend line here. You have actually 2 of them, these 2 diagonal trend lines, and you can see that you have multiple touches off of each one of these trend lines. And once you broke through one of the trend lines, you had a backtest of a support of the exact same trend line, and from there you had to move to the upside. Look at this, another backtest of support. From there, you ran into the blue trend line, and now we're having the exact same picture over here as we did over here. So you're running into the blue trend line. Potentially you could have another move to the downside, and on the 3rd try, we're going to break through the blue trend line, back test that as support, and potentially get into the overbought zone on the daily RSI. That's where you could take some profits, because every time you enter that zone, you typically have a move to the downside because there's not much left room to grow. Also, pay attention to this. I'm going to change the color. Pay attention to this yellow trend line here. We've been bouncing from this trend line in January, in May. We broke down below it in June, had a little fake out, then back tested it at the end of June and broke up. And since then, we haven't really retested it. So in in case we see a capitulation or a strong pullback, or someone famous says something negative about Bitcoin, we could see a drop in the markets. That's a brilliant buying opportunity for you. So Elon Musk, go ahead and say something stupid once again on Twitter, and you guys can sweep in and buy Bitcoin Cash off of this yellow trend line. Obviously, if it falls down even lower, you're very smart, so you don't buy all in at this price. It falls a bit lower below the trend line, you buy in more. That's simple as it is. So yeah, that's regarding Bitcoin Cash on the daily chart. A lot of talk from me, so I do apologize about that. I do go off on tangents sometimes, but I think it's important to point out these things because a lot of people seem very misguided in these crypto markets, and I'm here to help you guys out. So if you have any questions down below in the comments, leave them and I'll make sure to answer all of you. And also, I do have a Patreon. You can check me out on Twitter as well. Lots of exclusive content on Patreon, including low cap gems, trade alerts, and a podcast that I've started actually. So thank you all for watching. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Peace out.